Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. On the cover of this week's Boxing News, the trade paper, brilliant. If you don't subscribe to it, you should. But on the front cover is none other than Oleksandr Usyk. And there's an article in there comparing Usyk to the greats. How would he have got on against everyone from, Lennox Lewis all the way down to Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, Dempsey, Marciano, and so on. And that's an interesting article. But there's something else in there, in this issue, which I really recommend you read. Now, it's the account of a soldier, Ukrainian soldier, who talks about Usyk's triumphs in the ring and how they're an inspiration to his countrymen. You don't need me to rehash what's going on over there. Russia invaded Ukraine. There's been a lot of bloodshed, a lot of innocent people killed. And, this is not the place to rehash everything that's gone on. But a lot of people who, I suppose that most of them were Fury fanboys, and you should never take them seriously to any degree, but they were sort of hanging their pathetic, slavish devotion onto the hook of, well, Usyk's a fighter, but if he represents Ukraine, why isn't he on the front line fighting? I mean, it's such an asinine, moronic argument, because in actual fact, Usyk, as this article explains very well, acts as a great inspiration. It is symbolic that Ukraine has the heavyweight world champion, even though it's taken an unholy battering from Russia, from our friend, the ex-KGB agent, President Bone-Spurs' mate, and President Bone-Spurs, that cunt, and his repulsive vice president, that insignificant lickspittle. Why don't you say thank you? Why did you say, have you even said thank you? Fuck off, you insignificant cunt. Anyway, enough of ranting. Let's talk about this article because, first of all, this guy, he's 23 years old. His name is Wilhelm Oleksandrovich, almost the same, Vityuk, and he is only 23 years old, and he is an army veteran in the Ukraine, and he talks in this article. I'm not going to go through it all, but he talks about he grew up when he was a small boy. They moved to the Crimea, and there was a war there, which started in 2013. So he moved back to Mykolaiv in 2021. He joined the military, and then there was an invasion by Russia, and he said. Initially, they were organising food supplies, weapons, began digging trenches and fortifying the positions. But what he saw was horrifying. Civilian limbs severed by Russian shelling and countless dead bodies. Entire neighbourhoods had been destroyed and civilians killed indiscriminately. It was heartbreaking. So there you go. Then he got captured. This kid's only 23, for fuck's sake. He got captured. They were not treated. He and his colleagues were not treated well. And he says that when he was initially captured, he weighed 75 kilograms. And then by the time he was released, he weighed 47 kilograms. So I think we can say that in terms of hospitality, the food wasn't really up to scratch. Okay. But he was released, having been tortured and so on and so forth. Now, when he talks about Usyk, the question is obviously, why is Usyk so important? Well, this guy Wilhelm and a few of his other fellow injured vets were allowed to attend the second Usyk Fury fight, and they went over to Riyadh. They were guests of honor, so to speak. They met with Usyk and so on, and he said that all the servicemen were eagerly waiting and hoping for Usyk to win. And when he did, it felt like a collective psychological release. His victory gave us something intangible yet vital, a resource to help us keep moving forward. He gives us hope that everything will be okay, that Ukraine will endure and prevail. What's important to understand is that Oleksandr Usyk represents all of Ukraine. His victory was deeply meaningful. It wasn't just a sports victory. It was a psychological triumph against the Russians. It showed the world that Ukraine has a champion, a fighter who embodies our resilience. Okay, and when the issue of Usyk possibly retiring is raised, Wilhelm says he hopes he doesn't retire. He says, I truly believe Usyk should continue his journey. He's performing exceptionally well and is a phenomenal boxer. His success brings honour not only to his family and lineage, but also to Ukraine as a whole. So this young man of 23, who was captured, tortured, injured, he said that he had one of the things he talks about when he was being tortured was he had a tattoo of a Ukrainian, the Ukrainian trident, and the Russians cut it off. I mean, just without any anesthetic, just cut it off him. Yeah, nice people. But yeah, he sums up perfectly why Usyk is far better used, I suppose that's the wrong word, isn't it, as a symbol of Ukrainian resistance, rather than all this bullshit about, well, has he ever fought a day in his life? Has he ever been on the front line? What you mean, like President fucking Bone-Spurs and his lickspittle cunt of a vice president? Fuck them. All right, fuck them. So yeah, interesting article. Like I say, go and have a read. Very, very interesting. I've just sort of flitted through it, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so go and have a read of it. It's out now. And if you're not subscribing to the trade paper, Boxing News, which of course was founded in 1909, whenever anyone tells you the Ring magazine is the oldest boxing magazine in the world, no it isn't. Boxing News is. As great as the Ring was, this predates it by 12 years, I think. Anyway, thanks very much for your time. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button. Life's about choices. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. I always appreciate your time, whether you like it or not. I do. Whether you like me or not, I do appreciate your time. Take care of yourselves. The weekend is ahead. That's a good thing. Oh, don't forget the Australian card with Kambosos starts very early if you're in the UK like I am. Very early, like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning or something, which is Saturday morning. So, shades of watching Saturday morning kids telly when I was a nipper. Instead it's boxing, and I'm not a nipper anymore. I'll catch you later, ladies and gentlemen. Bye for now.